Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode 89 of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe Panther III, and now introducing to the mic my partner in crime from Clapper Metal Mountain, 12 states in all the countries. It's the happy heel himself, the Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside Crew? What's going on internationally? What's going on, everyone? What's going on, Joe?
Let's do here our third awesome guest for British Wrestler Week. Our friend from across the pond. You see the t-shirts. You know her. You love her. From CPW and UK wrestling. Let's give a war. Dudes at Ringside. Welcome to Alfie.
Hi.
Welcome, Alfie.
Welcome.
It makes me so happy to have you because we had to change your date. And I was like, oh, we have to keep her, geek. She sent us a t-shirt and we sent her a sticker. And it's like I was watching some of your matches on the YouTube and I'm like, she is awesome. So my first question is, Alfie, who trained you?
Well, I started training at UKW. So Jonathan Cedric trained me first, and then I trained with Danny Steele for quite a while after that. But then over the years, I've kind of just gone and trained at different places and just took a lot of seminars with different people. So there's quite a lot of names in there. I like to travel around a bit and just, when they put seminars on, just go and get different knowledge from everyone.
Okay.
What was your first match like in front of a crowd?
It was interesting. It was a triple threat, but I didn't actually find out I was going to actually have the match until a couple of hours beforehand. So it was kind of like didn't really have time to process it before I was like out there.
So for the fans that don't know, you're a champion.
Oh,
if you want to explain that right now.
Well, I have 2 championships at the minute. They're both with UKW. One's the tag team, one half of the tag team champions, the women's, and the other one is the women's UKW belt.
It's awesome. I remember seeing that picture of you on Instagram. And your head, you had that gash in your head, and I was like, whoa, what happened? And then you explained to me in the private message you just did a match and then you won the championship and you had that big So like, if our American fans are not familiar, I usually start it off, but I'm so excited to have you on the podcast, Alfie. So if our fans are not familiar with you, introduce yourself to the American fans.
Oh, I'm never good at introducing myself. I never know what to say, but I'll say one thing, that the interesting part about the head with the picture of that is it's a running joke that at WrestleBration, which is the event it was at, that I injured myself winning a championship, because when I won my tag belt a few years earlier, I snapped my arm in half while winning it.
Oh yeah, I saw the thing on YouTube. I saw that clip. I was like, oh, and they stopped.
Oh.
They stopped the clip. They stopped the clip and they show your arm behind your back. And I was like, oh yeah, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube.
I forgot it was on there, to be fair.
See, that's how I learned more about you, Alfie. I went on YouTube and looked up Alfie Wrestler, and I was just like, UK wrestling. What's this? I know CPW. And I was like, boom, okay, cool.
Yeah, not only that, you hit a nasty spear too.
Your spear is awesome. Love your spear.
When I mean nasty spear, I mean like your spear is awesome, by the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I did always want the spear as a finisher, so the fact that I can do it somewhat justice makes me happy.
And also, you hit a nice concerto also.
Well, thank you. I just recently added it to my arsenal, but I think it's one of my favorites. Oh, we like throwing them out there.
So
I remember when you sent us that video, I was like, Geek, did you see the video yet of the concerto? No, I saw the spear. And then he watched it. He was like, wow. She does her spears, man.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in America before.
The women's match. You never really
No, no, never, right? Never.
no. I think they're
Oh,
afraid to do that in America.
oh,
They're
we like
afraid.
throwing the chairs out there.
Yeah. Like, is there any place in the world you would like to go travel to wrestle?
Well, I've always said I'd like to go to Japan to wrestle. Obviously, America's one too. Um, but I think start off in Japan and then
Mm,
as if I'm lucky enough to. So
Yeah,
mm.
everybody. It seems like Stardom is the best place to go for women because they have. It looks like they have the best women's roster right there.
mm.
CPW as well.
Not quite stardom, but yeah, it would just be great to wrestle there. But obviously, CPW women are great too. They're just
It's
amazing to be around.
I always tell Geek, I always feel like some kind of like an honor that we keep getting women from CPW. It's like, as I said to our last to Riley Measures yesterday, I feel that Kiara opened the door for us to get you guys to come through to our podcast, like you. And on Friday we're having Shorty, and then in November we're having Nathan. It's just like I feel like so honored that they don't know us. We're just these two dudes from America that do a podcast that love wrestling so much that they've almost felt like they've taken us under their wing, and then under like they're like, wow, these, we're showing our love by showing you what you do on our Instagram page, and they're showing our love by showing our poster that we made with you on it and with their letters. And I have nothing but respect for CPW and all the things you guys do. Like, you guys do some good stuff over there.
Definitely,
Like,
definitely.
We
so
appreciate it. We
as you
appreciate
said to us in the DMs, you said you do you're a heel, but in UK wrestling you're a face. So which one do you prefer being, heel or face?
I'll just say heel. I do like being a heel, but I think it is easier to be a bad than good. But my heel, what I do, I just enjoy it. I really do. I just enjoy it more. But not saying that being face is bad because I'd be that too. But yeah, preference.
Hmm.
Who are some of your inspirations? Like growing up to watching wrestling.
So I grew up watching Edge. That's
Edge.
why my spears. That's why my finish is a spear.
Hmm.
Um, and Jeff Hardy. I used to love Team Extreme.
Hmm.
Just used to love watching the matches and that. I used to just sit there.
I,
Lisa too. So
I kind of see the concerto. You doing it as a tribute to Edge as well, because Edge and Christian used to do the concerto as well. But they and during their matches when they were facing each other, Christian did the one man concerto, and I kind of see you doing the same exact thing.
oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely come from there, and the fact that he hit it on Orton too, more recently.
Yeah. So what would you consider? I saw a lot of your matches. You do a lot of like regular fighting. So would you say yourself more like a brawler, I guess?
Yeah, I'd say that. I try. I do use a lot of strikes. I find them good to throw out there. Plus, got me strikes. So
Hmm.
use what you're good at.
Geek.
Yeah. Also, who's your like dream opponent that you would love to face?
You know what?
It could be a male or female. Male or female.
I'm asked this a lot, and do you know what? I don't. I can't really tell you just one because there's so many. I mean, there's so many
You can
like
just name them
talented
right
people
now.
out there.
You can name them.
I know, but I never know. I never
Hmm.
know what to say. Well, there is quite a few that I would face, but you know what I always say is, um, the people who don't even know you end up going down with them and end up having a great match anyway. So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah,
something that I
I
can
get what you're saying,
experience.
Alfie. 100%. I get what you're saying. Like, it's funny. Like, I'd be looking at other people's Instagram page, and you could see the people's picture and the likes, and I'm like, it's like American wrestler, and think that, oh no, I won't see anybody I know. I look down in the comments, the likes, and I'm like, there's Alfie's picture. And I'm like, oh my god, it's like a random American wrestler, and there's Alfie. No, I think one of our past guests, I think you liked some of their stuff. I was like, oh my god, there's Alfie. I forgot
No.
which wrestler it was, but I was like, there's Alfie. There's Alfie.
Just
It's
like to think I'm supportive, so I'm just a nice person. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you back, and I think
yeah,
that's what I'd kind of just go for, really.
yeah.
So,
Mhm.
There's a few wrestlers that I could see you wrestling in the States. There's a female champion in a promotion in New York, in Long Island, where Geek lives. Her name is Karen Bam Bam. She always has an open challenge. And I was joking with Geek like an hour ago. I said, that would be so hilarious that we're sitting there watching a show at his apartment and we get a message from you guys. Are you going to? I heard there's a CPW show tonight. Yeah, I mean VPW.
BPW, CPW, they sound
Yeah,
exactly
almost
the
the
same.
same. Yeah, why? Well, I hope you guys brought my shirts because you just say all you'll say is this. Just watch the show, and then we hear your music hit, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's why she said that." Because he nobody could beat her.
no.
Nobody could beat her. And I'm like, all I could think is, I said this to Geek. I said that would be funny if one day you show up in America and you take on Karen and you beat her for the belt. I'll be like, I knew it. Knew it.
She's like karma. That's how.
She's like
Uh,
karma.
Yeah,
it would be interesting.
yeah.
Right. Next Geek.
Joe, you next.
My turn. So, what would I'm going to go to the fun questions. What is your favorite food?
Oh, God. Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I do have to be boring. Really like tofu. If you cook it right, it's really nice. Uh, I'm
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
I'm more of a I ain't got much of a sweet tooth, to be fair. So I like really bitter chocolate, dark
Ooh.
chocolate.
We all have our we all have our little favorite things. Like me and Geek and I love pizza. We love
oh,
tacos.
burgers.
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 Like me and Geek, we always agree with the guests. So if like you're a vegetarian, we would be like, let's eat tofu with Elf. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. I'd eat it. I eat anything but anything with shellfish. I'm allergic to shrimp, so I can't eat anything that in that direction. So
Well, I don't eat any of that anyway, so.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But yeah. So what? Like we already asked who your dream opponent is, right? So.
Yeah.
Who has been? Oh, yeah, you said Edge was your inspiration, right? So, what have been
yeah,
some of your favorite movies?
movies. Mm.
Yeah.
See, one of my favorite movies of all time, I do say Rear Window
Rear
Mm.
by
Window.
Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah, I do enjoy watching that one. Um, See, it's a difficult one because I'm trying to think, but I see I watch a lot of like Studio Ghibli films and stuff like that. So,
Oh, you my girlfriend would get along. She's like the biggest anime fan ever. Always talking about that stuff, and I'm like,
oh,
what?
yeah, my favorite one of them is Howl's Moving Castle. So,
You should. It was funny. Geek told me when your shirt got to his house, his girlfriend immediately jumped and went, "Is that for me?" He has like that Long Island accent, and he was like, "No, that's mine." Why did she send you a shirt? She sent Joe a shirt too. It was a gift. Oh, where's mine? Oh, this is for between me, Geek, and Alfie. No, she's the mod. Normally, if we were live, she'd be like and asking in the chat. So I'm gonna ask her question that she asks every time. Do you have any pets?
oh, I have a dog called Luna.
Oh
She's a
yeah, that's
little
picture
Shih
I
Tzu.
saw. So cute, by the way.
Thank you. Oh, she's adorable. She's a little terror, bless her.
What kind
It's
of dog is it?
But then,
What kind of dog she wants to know?
oh, it's a Shih Tzu.
oh,
Shih Tzu.
I had a Shih Tzu when I was a little boy. His name was Shadow,
Yeah.
and he used to be sitting in my mom's. He would sit in my mom's lap, and my dad would be like doing that, and the couches were like separated, and he took a flying leap in the air, jumped onto my dad's chest, and was like barking in his face. Like my mom's like, that little Shih Tzu just jumped from all the way over there. Like she's like, doesn't even know how he just jumped across the room. Like,
They have got a sprig on them. I'll give them that.
yeah, lots of spunk. Like, yeah. Oof.
She has been poorly lately, but she's on the mend now. So
Mhm.
Do you have any stories from training or CPW or UK? Was it UKW or
Yeah, UK wrestling.
yeah?
Oh God, quite a few. It depends, but
That you could tell.
yeah. I'm trying. Oh God, I'm trying to think now. They always it, but like this is what I say. Like I'm awkward, so when I put on spot, I'm like, see, I know how to form a sentence. I really do, but then it's like if it don't come out, you know what I mean.
Mm.
um, well, I tell you, so after the match at Celebration when I'd done my head, and I went backstage and they just looked at me and they were like, "Yeah, like that's just typical you." So, and it wouldn't stop bleeding, but it was like it was her tooth. So what had happened was a tooth, just like a little bit of it, it just caught me, and it was the tiniest little cut ever, and it had just produced so much blood, and it just wouldn't
Oof.
stop bleeding. So they were sat like for ages just with
Oof.
every type of compress on for a little cut.
Oh God. When I complained about a paper cut on my thumb when I was at work, that I didn't have my knife that day, and I used my key to cut the box open because I work in a grocery store, Alfie. And I had stupid me. I had my finger there, and I cut I cut in the box with my key, and my finger caught the middle of the box, and I caught the middle of the bruise. It's all healed up now, but it caught my finger right before the nail, all the way toward the middle. And I was like, oh God, I had to go to the bathroom, wash it. And I'm thinking, it's just a paper cut, but it still felt like I cut myself with a real razor. It was a paper cut. I'm like, how can I be a wrestler?
Yeah, because the wrestlers they take the razor blade, they just cut themselves like that.
Oh yeah.
And so
Oh,
it's like not even like that hard. They just do a little. That's it.
A little.
yeah. Well, the funny thing was about that, like, because obviously it was legit and it had happened through a headbutt, and the ref came over to me while I was laid on the floor, and he's like, "You're all right, you're all right." I'm like, "Yeah, go check on her, just go check on her." So then he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, go check on her." Went to go check on her, and we got to 8, and we both ran into the ring, and it wasn't until I was in the ring, and I was like, "Oh, there's blood," and I looked at her, and I was like, okay, there's no blood on you. I put my other hand to my head. I was like, oh, okay, yes, that's me. I didn't even realize I was bleeding at the time.
So
if you want to talk about the ladder match you had with recently, you could talk about it. Have you guys had ladder matches in CPW or?
No, that was the first ladder match I've been a part of. It was so good. It was great. See that's one match I'd like to do. Like I'd love to go do a death match.
Death match, yeah.
Yeah.
We know plenty of death match wrestlers. Me and Joe.
Oh, we know one guy from America. He's a manager. He's called Chad Epic. You should definitely look him up when you're done with us. If you saw him, you would think he looks like he looks like, oh my God, he's gonna come. He's gonna
come after you, Joe.
He looks like a troll from the woods. He has this long beard and this big poofy hair, Alfie, but he loves deathmatch wrestling. Like he has a ring in his backyard.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that. Backyard, and he has weapons so many different weapons in his basement, like barbed wire sticks, kendo sticks, like everything if you need for a death match. He's like, yeah, what do you need? Like chairs, everything. Like it's insane.
And he pretty much knows everybody.
He knows everybody in the deathmatch community. Like if you came to America, we would be like, Alfie, Chad. Like,
Oh,
yeah. So
cool.
yeah, so if there ever was like a little boy or a little girl that came up to you and asked you, said, I want to become a professional wrestler, what kind of advice would you give them?
Oh, you know what? even if you are, say, the most anxious person, you should still give wrestling a go because it can bring you out of your shell, and it will. Like, no matter who you are, just give it a go and see what you can do. But just remember that you've got to put in the work and train. But it will help. Honestly, I know so many people that it has helped throughout everything. So, and just a good way to do what you love and just get a release too.
It's like you're always in, like I said, the gimmick matches, whether it be a steel cage match or a ladder match, something like that. So how does that feel to be that?
Oh, I love it. I do love it. I must admit that the cage match was so much fun. I love working Cat. I think she is amazing. And you know what? I think in that match we both had fun, even though I did kind of concerto her at the end. I think she enjoyed it. But yeah, the ladder match as well. Like, there's so many different opportunities, and I appreciate them all. Like, this is what I mean. Like, sometimes when I was on about opponents and not being able to name one, like, matches there, it was the fact that I was putting these matches. I was like, oh, you know what? I really want, this is a great match. Add it onto my bucket list and tick it off at the same time, sort of thing. Like, you don't know sometimes what you want until it's there, and you're like, this is a great opportunity. So this is actually just another thing.
There's actually a woman in America. She actually won the men's title, the actual men's title in
Yeah.
their promotion. Would you be interested in going after a men's title ever, or
Oh well, you see, I have done well. I
what?
was in a gauntlet for a chance to go for the heavyweight belt at UKW. I was
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
I was beat
awesome.
by the very last person in a row.
Oh.
There you go. I just whacked my earphones out.
It's okay. Don't feel bad because like before the show started, my microphone stand is actually broken, so the microphone keeps falling over. So if you hear a loud clunk, that's the microphone stand that actually falls over. So
It's all right. I'll have probably pulled my earphones out by then, so I won't be able to hear a thing.
Yeah. So, like, I remember you mentioned back at, like, when we were started DMing each other about coming on the podcast. Like, you're the longest reigning champ. You've held, what belt was that you had the longest reigning champion CBW? Which championship was that?
That was the lineal championship. That was the
So
one that Kiara actually beat me for.
Ah,
So I
different
was,
in the picture. It was black in the picture that you had in your hand.
yeah, it was a redesign. So it in the match that she won it in, it was the new belt we were going for. So she won the new design of the belt that I had.
Mm.
that's crazy. No, but is there any upcoming shows you want to promote or?
Well, I've got 2 matches this weekend, so 2 shows this weekend. One's at Coventry, against Chantel Jordan, which should be fun. It's for the CPW Galaxy Championship. So that should be a really fun match. I'm looking forward to that one. And Sunday, I am at Blackheart Wrestling. So that's another promotion up my end, my neck of woods, which you should check them out. I mean, they're really good too.
It's called Blackheart Wrestling or
Yeah, Blackheart Wrestling.
If you
Blackheart
get the
Wrestling?
YouTube channel, please send it to us so we'll be able to. We both mod on the channels. That's why sometimes it says geek
Yeah,
On the bottom of the screen, so you can tell who's who.
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Geek always gets scared that he thinks the guest he's calling the guest a geek.
Yeah, it's I always think that I'm like, oh great, they're gonna hate us now because they're gonna think I'm calling them a geek. But it's like just so you could tell who's Joe and who's geek.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We'll be able to tell.
It's so funny. I talk to Alfie on my regular Alfie and Shorty both on my own Instagram. I talk to you both all the time. Like I try to message so much. Geek has like that running joke. He's like, don't message him like
Yeah, so you could tell, you could definitely tell who Joe is. Like when he goes on a rant or something like that,
Yeah,
you know Joe is always the one that's most active on Instagram. So
I
it's who's
remember
that?
that.
I always feel
So
I want to talk about fun stuff, so I started asking, when we were trying to get the promo. So I was like, because I don't want to make it so crazy, but I in my head I feel like a director sometimes
Yeah,
with the promo. Like I want the wrestler to do the promo their own way, but I wanted to make it look like something you see on TV.
yeah,
That's why I'm like, hi, my name is Alfie. I'm from London, England, and you're watching and listening to Dudes That Rings That Pop. Like something like that. Like
yeah.
I watch a lot of CBS in the morning where I live. So yeah.
Well, I am from Sheffield, which is
yeah,
in Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. Uh,
Yeah, so
how
pretty
far
much.
are you from London?
Um, by train, about 3.5 hours. That's how I
Wow.
could tell you. I can't tell
Okay.
you how many miles.
So that's like us going to Pennsylvania, me going to Pennsylvania, basically.
Yeah, we sort of like up in middle.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It'll be
Nope.
good.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
So if anybody wanted to purchase any of your awesome merch like this, where would they have to go?
Oh, I have a big cartel. Or to be fair, they can just message me. Um, my big cartel's linked to because I have a blog as well, so it's linked to that. So it's actually under. I think it's Believe You're Brave .bigcartel.com. I can tell it's been a while.
So
But
you have a link tree too, pretty much, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Everybody, that's like the new thing nowadays. I mean, the link tree. It's like 5 years ago, this was never popular, but then now everybody has a link tree. So I guess it's so you don't have to give out so many links. I guess so.
yeah, that's it. That and I I run a mental health blog as well, so I have that too, which is what's linked in as well.
Mhm.
So, were you a fan of the wrestler Daphne? And well, how are you like? I was so upset about the loss of Daphne in wrestling. Like, I was like, wow,
Oh
what a
God,
loss in the wrestling world, you know?
it is. It's always upsetting as well when anything like this. It really does tug at the heartstrings.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? You already asked movies, pets, yes, food. Mm. What else? You already asked.
TV
For the
show.
oh,
TV
TV show.
show.
What's your favorite TV show?
Um, well, to be fair, I like to watch a lot of like murder and stuff and documentaries about about all that and murder.
so,
But I find myself watching YouTube videos a lot. So
so so is your character like a psycho heel character?
she sort of she likes to have fun though. She's like a smiley one.
Yeah.
She's a smiley one that will still rip your head off.
Because in one promotion, it seems like you're like the dark character, and in another promotion, it's like you're just yourself.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's my face character. It is more myself. Like it's my heel character, but just turned down
Uh-huh.
rather than crazy and you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's
All
so
the
different.
emotions are sort of the same. Like I still bow. I like to keep that in there, but yeah.
Can you imagine if MJF was a heel in one promotion and face in another?
Oh God.
Can you imagine that? It's like that's so different. You don't see that in wrestling too much. You know
I
what I
saw
No,
mean?
you
the
don't know.
picture of you, the second one that you just got, the newest shot picture you took. I saw that one. I told this to Geek because it to me it felt like it had a lot of inspiration from Poison Ivy. Did you have any inspiration from there or like the Joker with the makeup?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I did, and I wanted to try something a bit different with it, not go the whole thing. So that's why it came up the way it did. But I do like my DC. And to be fair, it was a photographer as well, Turner. He's great, so he knows exactly how to do the pictures so they look great. And honestly, he was amazing.
Yeah, I was because I was like, I showed it to the Geek and he's like, that's Alfie. I said, yeah, she just turned the other direction.
It's the way two different sides, fringe on one, not on the other.
Yeah.
So.
I was like, that's still Alfie.
I
Alfie,
know that.
we know it's late over in the UK, so we want to thank you so much for coming on. By the way,
you.
you have no idea how much that means to
We're
us.
we're your, as I said this before, you now have two fans in America that think you are so like awesome, and we wish you nothing but the best in your career, and we hope to have you come to the States one day, and if you do, try to come to New York, try to find VPW, Victory Pro Wrestling, and please tell us if you ever come,
Or Cap, or
or
Cap,
Cap, or
Yeah.
Cap,
Cap's another one.
or Cap, and please let us know. We would love to be ringside to cheer you on.
Oh no, that'd be great. And honestly, thank you for having me on, and thank you for putting up with my awkwardness because I know how great it is sometimes, and my ability to form legitimate sentences.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank
It's
you.
okay.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. You're awesome anyway. So
Well, you're awesome. Thank you so much. And once again, people, definitely, if you want a t-shirt from Alfie, message her and she'll help you out with all that fun stuff.
always
Yeah.
happy to help anyone out.
we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right. Bye. What a
That
great interview.
was fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, Alfie was awesome, by the way. She's a great interview.
As I said, if you want a shirt from Alfie, DM her. She'll help you out with anything, 8x10s or whatever. So,
Our friend,
he do his fun spiel and then I'll do my send off.
our friends and family in Louisiana need your help over in Louisiana. They have no water, food, or power. I'm sorry. So please help our friends out in Louisiana. It's like very important. Please donate to the Red Cross. Food, batteries, water, candles, whatever you have to help them out. Thank you.
Just remember, go on Pro Wrestling Tees and pick up some wrestling t-shirt today. Go, if you want an Alfie t-shirt, message her and talk to her. She'll help you out, get you 8x10s or a t-shirt. And we will see you Thursday for Billy Stark. Good night, everybody. So long.